D'George Hines, you gon' be alright, you gon' be fine.
Welcome to Uplifting Moments with D'George Hines, a faith-based show where I talk to people from all walks of life on how they've navigated their faith through life's challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is none other than Grammy Award-winning, Stellar Award-winning, Dove Award-winning choreographer, director, author, and actress. I mean, you name it, all of that. The one and only Doe Kill. Condra McGee. You Cherael Carter, everybody. Travis Malloy. Drea Kelly. Kiera Sheard. Kelly is with me today.
So I seen Mogul, but I seen it from my view. I didn't see it from God's view.
Oh, that's good.
I was able to reflect on that first time and say, well, Condra, what's going on? And I was like, oh, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Did I doubt along on the journey, like maybe it's not for me? Absolutely. I had those moments and I still do.
So I left the house when I was 19 years old and I was officially homeless. I was in and out of jail.
I had to process through this whole fear of missing God's will and being afraid to step out. And
you gotta learn how to pick your battle. Do I wanna fight something that is never meant for me to fight? Or do I wanna keep fighting for my vision?
Be unapologetic about your journey.
Yes.
I'm unapologetic about being the former Mrs. R. Kelly. I'm unapologetic.
You will be inspired, you will be encouraged, but most importantly, you will be uplifted.
I don't want no preacher. Yeah, I need a mixture of CC Winans and Sexy Red.
It's time to be uplifted.
Uplifted.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I hope you are excited, just as excited as I am tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Tonight is not Uplifting Moments. That's on Thursdays at 8 p.m. right here on Merge TV. But I'm super excited for tonight being the first D'George Hines Live, which will be every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Isn't that something? We're going to be live right here every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight is not just another conversation. It's a moment to listen, to learn, and to honor the strength of some incredible women. As a man, as a husband, as a father, I know I can't fully understand what it's like to walk through breast cancer, but I can choose to use my platform to help amplify voices that need to be heard. This conversation isn't about me, it's about their courage, their truth, and their journey. We are here to bring awareness tonight, to create space for real and raw stories, and to remind people that early detection and support save lives. I want to thank these powerful survivors who are joining me tonight. You are a reflection of resilience, and I'm honored to hold space for you. Let's lean in, let's listen, and let's make this, let's talk. Let's really talk tonight, and let's make this a conversation that matters. First, I would like to introduce someone that is extremely close to me. She is a sister of mine, have known each other for years and years, and I am super excited to welcome her tonight to D'George Hines Live, all the way from the San Francisco Bay Area. She is a wonderful mother. She is an artist. She's a gospel artist. She is a worship leader. She is a preacher. Hallelujah. Lift your hands at home and say, thank you, Lord. She is a preacher, but please, y'all, help me welcome my sister and close friend, Cherael Wynn Ross.
How are you? So glad to be here.
Thank you so much for being with me tonight. This is a different space for us, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited about it. You're going to get into your story a little later, and you're going to share about, how things have transpired for you. I want to say I'm super proud of you. I'm super, super proud of you. And one of the things I really am excited about is this book. Yes, I got this book. This book, Hope Wears Pink. You was like, how you get the book? I got the book.
You got it.
And this is tips for thriving through cancer treatments. And I thought it was a book of you actually telling your story. But when I flipped through the pages, it's actually a workbook. I mean, you have everything in here, which is super, super exciting. You have hair care, skin care, body care, the drinks to stay hydrated through your treatment, and supplements and digestive health. I mean, this is so powerful. I'm super excited. And I should have got blown up your family, but look at the family. Look at the kids.
My babies.
Yes. I'm super excited. Tell us about yourself real quick.
Yeah, my name is Cherael Wynn Ross. I'm so glad to be here. I'm an author, a mom, like you said, and an advocate now. I kind of got thrown into the space of being an advocate now that I've dealt with breast cancer and kind of still on the journey of what healing looks like, what the other side looks like, because that's a conversation we don't hear a lot about. Yeah.
Super excited. Tell me you got music out. Come on, tell the people you got
Stop
some
it.
music.
I ain't got no music out.
You got that
I don't
music
have
out?
no, I ain't got no music out. I don't have no music out.
You
but
say
I
you
do
don't have no new music. No, you got a single out. Come on.
Okay. Anyway, what I do have a story that I am working on. That book will be coming out soon. So I have some little tips and things, little nuggets to drop about that soon. But
all right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all heard it here first.
Yep.
She's
Another
being
book.
humble. She's being humble tonight, though. Y'all go YouTuber, and you'll find her ministry. Thank you very much. Next, coming to the stage tonight on D'George Hines Live, I am excited to have April Love. April is the founder of the Pink Foundation. Super excited to talk. I feel like everyone knows April, and I feel like April knows everyone. She's a champion for the people, artist management, everything you can think of. Whenever I need help with something, I know I'm not gonna be funny, but I know I can call April. Is she gonna try to figure it out? She's gonna try to figure it out if she can answer the phone. But y'all put your hands together in the virtual audience for April Love.
You are so funny. And I love that. I'm a champion for the people. I love that. I love it.
Super excited about that. Tell us what you got going on, April.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm a busy lady, but at the forefront is, of course, out of my journey with breast cancer, which is what we're talking about. And you mentioned the Pink Awards Foundation, but I'm on my 7th year hosting the Pink Awards, and I'm super excited about that. Carl Payne is coming back to host, and Brady Evans will be joining, and we're honoring
my sister.
Yeah, we're going to be honoring some amazing people, and Monyetta Shaw is going to hit that stage as well. I'm excited, but we'll talk about that later.
Super excited. Let's actually, you know what, April, let's check out the Pink Awards, the Pink Award Foundation. Let's check that out.
Okay.
For the people of God to make their presence felt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Y'all take this in. Look at this. Look at this.
Prince is my father.
Yeah, I was going to say, your outfit makes my hands want to do like this. Yes.
It's time to bring up the first honoree of the evening. And Carl Payne, you know this man well.
We're talking about Mr. Oh boy.
Jazzy Faye.
You survived. You woke up this morning. You know, millions didn't make it. But I was one of the ones who did. I see the difference in this building. Black excellence ain't even a big enough word.
Ladies and gentlemen, we honor Terrence Lester with the 2024 Samaritan Award.
Praise God. And I want to remind somebody tonight as I receive this award to remind you that although you may be struggling or suffering or find yourself with your back against the wall, as Howard Thurman suggests, we serve a God that is still able to do the impossible. We serve a God that is still able to lift up your head. Let's extend a warm welcome to our first Pink Spotlight tonight, Ricky Farley and her beautiful daughters, Haley and Amanda.
I am a 13-year survivor of triple-negative breast cancer. My doctor gave me 2 years to live. I'm on 13. Black woman under the age of 35. get breast cancer at twice the rate of white women and die at 3 times the rate, well before they would have that first mammogram at age 40. As of last week, we have now signed up 20,000 Black women for clinical trial portals in the last 2 years. Welcome to the stage, the 2024 Warrior Award recipient, LaSonia Jackson.
I happen to be the only majority African American owner of a professional hockey team in America. And I'm here to tell you that I am 100% cancer free. Yes.
To the one and only queen of 4. You had vision when no one had vision.
So I'll just say to those who have survived, may you continue to thrive. And healing is not on an occasion. Take this on as a way of life.
Please direct your attention and celebrate Mr. Devon Franklin.
Oh, wow. First of all, just thank you to the Pink Awards. You know, I was raised in the church, and everybody told me at a young age, if you go to Hollywood, you're going to lose your faith. Those that said, don't go, didn't know.
Please help me welcome the 2024 Trailblazer Award recipient, my bishop, William H. Murphy III.
To all those of you who are in a fight, who are about to go into a fight, who have finished a fight, we say to God be the glory for the things that he has done. Somebody open your mouth and give God praise tonight. Thank you.
In the Black community, especially Black women, they're affected by breast cancer more than any other ethnic group.
It is such an honor to be here with my Pink Sisters today.
I went through 21 cycles of chemo.
I am a 7-year survivor, 35 sessions of radiation.
So much about the survival rate has everything to do with the treatment, but it also has everything to do with the mindset.
God's plans will always outweigh man's plans. Hope is a survivor's superpower.
I went through 8 surgeries and I'm still here.
I'm standing here today.
Be courageous.
I'm empowered to tell others there is hope.
Pink Awards, man. Thank you, April Love.
Oh, wow.
Come on, April Love.
Well done.
How exciting.
Thank you.
Isn't that
I didn't know you
amazing?
were gonna play that trailer. Thank you so much. So that kind of sums up what I was gonna say. The 7th year of doing that, and that was actually birthed out of my journey. Like I had, they got pictures of me in chemo with the laptop because I started doing the Pink events during that time because I always been, a publicist, manager, worked in entertainment for over 2 decades, and it was just, man, when I say God pivoted, and I still have great clients, but now I'm very focused on purpose work. So
Well, we love it. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. I was there that night. I was
Yes, you were.
absolutely there.
little hungry, but you.
I wasn't gonna tell the people. I
No,
wasn't
don't
gonna
tell
the
about
people.
that.
She had us in there starving.
No.
I ordered. Your event was the first event that I actually ordered DoorDash to the event.
Ridiculous. George.
We had 7-Eleven come. We had, Little Caesars had those little pizza puffs. Man, I was feeding the whole area right there. Devon
That's
Franklin, he
hilarious.
was eating. We was having a good
That's
time.
hilarious. I mean, that food was cute at the reception, but yeah, it was.
It was.
But I went to the Stellars this year. When I say I didn't feel that no more. It was 3 hours longer. So I was like, okay.
Though, April is such a stick. The production that night was such. It was excellent, and she wanted to make sure it was excellent. So we had to do some things over, and we had to, make sure things were right. And so I appreciate your excellence there. Now I understand that I've been invited to join the board, which is amazing. So thank you for that great honor. And so I look forward. Yeah, we gonna do this. It's gonna be exciting. Now, y'all, I'm super excited also tonight to have Monyetta Shaw Carter. She's joining tonight. She is a wife. She is a mother. She's an author. She's a philanthropist. She's an actress. And she was also featured on The Real Housewives of Atlanta as a friend to the show. So come on, y'all. Put your hands together in the virtual audience for the one and the only. She's a survivor as well. Monyetta Shaw Carter.
Hey, hello. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on.
Of
It's
course.
interesting always when you introduce people and you say, now introduce yourself too, because there's things that you got going on and things that I may have missed out that you can definitely speak to. So tell us about you, Monyetta. We're super excited to have you tonight.
Okay, I think you said a lot. I'm also an author, entrepreneur. I have my baby right now is the Keep It Classy press on nails. Mother, just super busy. Yeah, have a lot going on.
Well, I'm super excited. Thank you for that. My wife has been thinking about getting into those press-ons, so I'm gonna tell her to check your. Now, is it affordable? Before I tell her to check you.
Whatever. It's very affordable. Tell her I got her.
Yes.
Don't start.
Well, ladies, I'm super excited to have this conversation again. Let's dive in. I think something is interesting. Now, I did not know, April, back when you were going through treatments and everything like that with your breast cancer. I didn't know how you handled it, but I do know that both Cherael and Monyetta, you guys handled this privately. So you actually didn't tell people what was happening. I know, Cherael, you just told a few of us, we were in prayer with you and that kind of thing. But take me back to before breast cancer. How would you have described who you were back before breast cancer? And I'm going to start with you, Monyetta.
Oh, wow. Before breast cancer, I would describe myself as just a woman that wears many hats. Just always so busy. Of course, we've been sharing. I'm an entrepreneur, actress, just super busy all the time, always on the go, always pouring into other people. I rarely slow down. I like to say that, I mastered the balancing act, with the kids doing this and me doing this, and even on the TV shows, like in travel, because we travel a lot. But, now I always prioritize my peace. And if you watched on the show, like, y'all go ahead, y'all do that. I'm a selfie here. Like, I don't play none of those games, This is my real life, even after the cameras go down, let's, keep it classy. It's not just a saying, but like at all times, it's part of my foundation and who I am as a person. But I just was very intentional about really slowing down and taking my moments after the breast cancer, and it just put things into perspective, a lot. And if I was grounded before, I'm even more grounded and intentional about what really matters to me now.
Did you feel like you were so let me back up in this, because I know that for some people it is hereditary. So and anyone can answer this, but did you guys find out based on just getting checked because someone in your family had it, or you knew you had the gene, or did you just felt something one day and was like, let me go get this checked?
I'll go first. Not even with me. It was like intuition, honestly. Like I knew that something wasn't right. Maybe like 10 years ago, I had like a little something, and it was benign, thank God then. And so I was just I was out of the country with my husband, and literally I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would just become claustrophobic. It's like the universe, God was warning me that something wasn't right. And I always go have my yearly, mammograms, everything. And it was just like, go check. Something isn't right. So literally, my intuition was a feeling, like a gut feeling that I felt. And I was proactive, and thank God we found it early, because early detection absolutely saves lives, like you said. Like it's imperative.
Wow.
I can chime in there because it was definitely not on my radar. This is about to be my 15th year. This is my 15th year of
Come on.
Survivor and Thrivership. And when I
Yes.
tell you, in my 30s at the time, and at that point, there's been some growth there in regards to opening up more in regards to insurance and coverage and that sort of thing. But they weren't really doing mammograms until you were 40 years old. So it wasn't in my purview. It was not in my thought. But I was consistent with doing my annual exams. And I will always thank God for Dr. Motorhar Ford, who was my primary care doctor at the time, and she put me in for that's why I say, I love that God don't play about me. I pay everything at that Pastor Mike Jr. Because when I tell you I did not know, and I was not early, and that's a blessing that you were, Mo, because it was stage 3, and it was slowly about to progress into metastasizing, because it's only 4 stages, right?
Right.
And had I not had Dr. Motor Harford on my team, and because I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel nothing. I didn't think nothing. Had never had a mammogram ever. And for her to do that, and that was my first time even going to radiology. I hadn't even had a broken bone. I had only had from birth to having pneumonia at the age of 3, I had never had a hospital real visit. Yeah. So I went from none of that to that, So so she was just very proactive. I followed up with it, and when I tell you, it's so funny, the whole mind body connection, because when I finally, I went on Black Friday, so I was trying to get out of here to get to the mall, and that's when I did my mammogram. I was like, Lord, they have released all of the grandmothers, and I'm still in here in this little pink room, but whatever. So
Not all the grandmothers.
it was full of, it was at least 80%, older, yeah. So I was just like, I'm gonna be in and out of here, and I was like, oh my God, no, I'm still here. I was like one of the last 2 people. But the funny thing is when the radiologist, not even, it was like, you go through the process, it's like, I'm gonna have a biopsy, and you get it biopsy, it's like something looks suspicious. And I'm like, what do you mean? But when I did go, and they did put it back then, they put it on the on that that lit up wall, and you could see like a real large image of your area, and it was just a little circle. And once she said that's the area of concern, I felt it. I immediately felt the pain.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had to then acknowledge there is something there. So
Wow.
that was the first time I felt anything, though.
So I guess I'll chime in there as well. My story is a little similar to both of you, right? So mine was stage 3 as well
Oh,
by
wow.
the time we had found it. But the interesting thing was I do have a family history of cancer. My grandmother, my great grandmother, like it was all throughout my family. And I remember when they found out my grandmother had the cancer gene, I was married at the time, and I told my ex-husband, I said, if I find out I have the genetic, predisposition to it, let's finish having all of our children. And then I'll just do a mastectomy just to be careful. And he said, okay, that's fine. So that day, something happened with my insurance. They weren't really covering the test. It was like very expensive at the time. So maybe like a year or 2 later, there was a test kit. I think it was 23andMe. So I said, okay, I'll just buy that. It was $100. I said, let me get that. Tested myself at home, and I got $100 result because it said negative. Okay. You don't have any type of genetic
My
makeup
Lord.
or anything like that. So I went on about my life, went through all of these different transitions in life, kind of just let life. I was always the type of person to let life just happen to me. Like I'll just roll with the punches. I'm just gonna do what I need to do, let life happen. And I remember I felt a small lump. But before I felt that lump, every year, my gift to myself would be to do a full panel. So my blood work, my urinalysis, like everything.
That's
And
good.
so I did that
Yeah.
every single summer. And so this particular summer, I went and did that. My doctor was like, everything looks great, but they didn't know why a mammogram on there. And I'm not 40. So they were like, why is this on?
Right.
So I went in there, went for the appointment. And when I tell you the nurse was so nasty and so rude, and she was like, I don't know who scheduled this, why this is on there. You're too young. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of money, and turned me away. And I was on the phone with my mom at the time, and she said, okay, well, whatever. So I was like, I don't know why it's on there. I didn't schedule it myself. And I went home. And then maybe 3 months later, was laying in my bed, and I could feel this like pea-sized lump in my
My God.
breast. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. And I was like, maybe it's a cyst or whatever. Told my mom. She was like, well, just go get it checked. You don't have any, just go get it checked. I was like, whatever. Didn't have time because at this point I'm a single mom. I'm in school. I'm getting my MBA. Like I was just a lot of stuff going on. Long story short, my brother had called me and he said, "Mom," he said, "I was just watching something on YouTube and it caught my eye. There is a mother of like 5. She waited too long to get a lump check. Now she's on there with a GoFundMe because she has stage 4 cancer."
Jesus.
And he said, whether it's a cyst or not, you need to go
Yeah.
and go get checked. And I'm like, oh my God, you're doing too much. Don't scare me. We get off the phone. That night, I can really, really identify with what you said. Is it Monyetta?
Yes.
About
Yes.
about just having this like it was like this weird feeling all throughout the night. I could not stop touching it. I couldn't stop. And I said, I have to get checked. End up getting checked. Long story short, my job has switched our insurance from the doctor's office that was really rude and nasty to me having a Black practitioner who got me in same day.
Wow.
She said, I will do your intake and your breast exam the same day. They got me scheduled for a mammogram within 3 days. And then from there, they did because Black women have more dense breast tissue. So that is the thing. So they miss a lot of it because they can't see it because we have a lot of fibers,
Tissue,
all
yeah.
of that. So end up finding out they thought it was stage 1, came back, they did my CT scan, it was stage 3. And they said, you're going to have to do chemo, radiation, and a double mastectomy because you have BRCA2. I
Wow.
found all of that out within a matter of a month.
Oh my
So
God.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, and I literally rolled with the punches from there. So
Yeah.
But what did you hear like when you first heard those words, you have breast cancer? What did that do to you? Like what was your response? Like what was your reaction in that moment?
panic, fear. Um, my first thought was my children. I mean, I have 11, 9, and 7-year-old, and my first thought was I have to be here for them. And so I'm not gonna even lie to you. This is the honest to God raw truth. The second thought was my hair.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
because people don't realize when it comes to Black women, when it comes to Black women, we are not taught really the things that are out there. The Lord helped me to start a foundation called Hair Haven Foundation because I didn't know that there are sciences out there that not only help you keep your hair and it works better on us, but it
Wow.
also helps with neuropathy because that's irreversible. And the therapy is the exact same. So my thought process was, and it wasn't my hair for a vain reason. It was more so I don't want to look like what this is gonna be,
Come on now.
what
Yeah.
they tell us this is gonna be. I
Yes.
don't know how else to fight. And the only way I can fight is to not see myself looking sick and feeling
Jesus.
sick, whatever sickness looks like. I
Yeah.
have to fight this. And so immediately my thought process was just, it felt defeated for a moment. And then I realized as I started to educate myself, and my doctor allowed me to talk to other women who were going through it. I said, I can do this. What does cancer have to look like? What does it look like? I can
Yeah.
define what this looks like for me. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to look like what we see on TV or what we
Yeah.
see. You have your moments, yeah. I had my moments where people saw me, they probably wouldn't know if I was a man or a woman. But at the end of the day, I
Yeah.
said, what this is going to be for me, I'm going to define it.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. I would say my feeling when I got the diagnosis, I was numb. I was completely numb. It was literally the day after my, well, last year, third wedding anniversary. So, and the second thing that the doctor said was like, okay, for you to have any cancer, this is the best one. You're hearing this and it's like, okay, is it comforting or is it not? Like you still have this. And my mom passed 3 years ago, 2022. And I'm still dealing with grief. So I look up, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, God, like this, and I'm like, okay. So I'm handling that and, keeping it moving, keeping it pushing. I'm like, okay, like the numbness, the surprise, is this really happening to me? Like how, and immediately, like you said, like my children, I'm like, like, no, I, I got some, this isn't it,
Yeah.
no, this, no. And I immediately went into just hanging on to my foundation and talking to God and just like, okay, I got this. And thank God for my support system. My dad, amazing, amazing man of God, my husband, just super supportive. Like, they're like, oh, you got this, and still hearing that and having that, I'm so grateful for it. And I kept everything private, and I wanted to just be intentional about my peace, because the
Yeah.
outside world, especially
Yes.
if it's on the internet, like you can, and
That's
people,
important.
yeah,
Yeah.
they don't mean
Super
you
important.
well a lot of times, and I didn't want to let any of that, it's just me, my family, God, like we're gonna get through this. So yeah, I could definitely, yeah. All right, I'm getting emotional, but yes, so it's
Yeah.
and it's funny because I shot a movie while I was going through this. I
There you go.
taught, like, I was over my daughter's dance line at the middle school. She was in 8th grade, kept going. I remember having my surgery, and then they had a Black History program 3 weeks later, and I'm like, oh God, will I be able to go? I want to go, just being mindful and just still, like I said, it just shows you what truly matters even more now, so it's just, yeah, it's a lot,
Yeah.
but I knew I was gonna fight this thing, and I knew
Yeah.
that I was gonna get through this, and God was gonna, he'll never put more on me than I can bear. So I knew if he was bringing this to me, it's a reason, and I'm gonna push through
Reason.
for my purpose,
And you
and that's
did.
exactly what I'm
You
doing. Thank
did.
y'all.
I do want to you both of you said some things. It's like you kept like, like triggering things. And I was like, one of the big things about advocacy, with my Pink Awards Foundation, that's one of the pillars that we're really, really push that, and we try to help navigate. And I wanted the foundation to be for these new diagnoses and these women that are going through it, something I was looking for when I was diagnosed. And I had the same scenario happen with the radiation, the nurses. I didn't leave though, but they were kind of telling me like, you didn't feel anything. Why are you doing this? Are you too young? Da 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 da. And I literally got to the elevator, and Holy Spirit was like, no, no, no. And I had to do two things in radiology actually. And the thing is, like I said, I'd never been to radiology for anything. I just never had to do that thing. So I was just like, I didn't understand the magnitude of how important it. They're sending you to radiology. There is a reason you need a CT scan or MRI or whatever, X-ray. So I was like, okay, let me circle back, But the thing is, had you not gone back, and even having the terrible bedside manner of my first oncologist, he was trash, terrible. My cousin went with me, and it was like we were ready to take notes because, and he was just like, you just need to do what I say. I'm like, now I'm still a
Mm-hmm.
little bit numb, but my cousin is not, and my girlfriends and the people around me were just not like having it. Like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
this is not gonna work. And it was just like, you have to be an advocate for yourself. At the end of the day, you have to know that this is my body, this is my decision. This is even being there to the support from your loved ones. At the end of the day, they do the best that they can. But the majority of them haven't had a diagnosis like this. They haven't had
Come
to
on
face
now.
this. So they can tell
Come
you,
on.
I want to be there for you, and they're going to be there the best that they can. My girlfriend that also encountered that oncologist with me, she was doing the best that she could. But at the end of the day, this is what God has given us specifically. And it's kind of like you have to be able to go into your secret place and see like, well, what would I do? Because like you said with the hair, that's how I feel about the breast. I was like, what now? Because
Right.
I had attached it so much to my femininity, and I'm just like,
Right.
my
Right.
God, I'm gonna be bald and breastless. Wait a minute,
Right. Right.
So I also really want to drive the point home of also mental health, because I was missing for the first 3 months after my
Me too.
diagnosis.
Me
They
too.
had to trick me. the
Me too.
nurse practitioner called me from another number because they had been trying to reach me. And mind you, I said I was given this diagnosis on Christmas Eve. How dare they call me on Christmas Eve? Whatever. They called me on Christmas
Wow.
Eve. And I was working on the mayoral campaign because the mayor, it was Kasim Reed at the time, and the inauguration, all kind of things, in the holiday, I'm a publicist and a manager, so the holidays are always popping, and you just try to destroy my holiday. So I go into the new year, I go through the new inauguration, I'm doing everything. Next thing I know, it's February. I still didn't talk to those people. And they said it was stage 3 and I need to move quickly. And then right before my birthday is when March, guys. I blew it off like almost the entire first quarter. I don't know who they told they had breast cancer, but it wasn't me. I went through the stages of grief, denial, all the things.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
like, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. And they caught me. She called me from a different number that was not Kaiser. And I answered, and my oncologist got on the phone, and they were like, but what really like took me, and I definitely still, went into behavioral health. I wanted that mental support. Like I said, my family could do only so much, but I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to find support groups. I wanted to talk through this. And but she said to me before she got off that phone, and she said, we have to move for you have an estrogen receptor positive cancer, so it's not a fast, aggressive one, but it's stage 3. And we already we see some presence in the lymph node. You don't want to do, you don't want to do this. And she said before she said, I want to ask you something before we end this call. And she said, do you want to live? I was like, wait a minute. She said I don't remember nothing else she said on that call. But then the kids and the family and all the things started to flash before me. And I said, oh yeah, I do. I absolutely want to live. And the very next day I started my breast care plan. But that mental fortitude had to be developed. And praise God it was.
So April, I'm interested to know though. So was you lying to people when they was the people that knew that you had this diagnosis? When they asked you, have you talked to your doctor? Was you telling them, yeah, I talked to him?
You
This
know
is what I
what?
want to know. I'm trying to figure
probably
something out right here.
I probably have to ask for forgiveness of the omission. No, I did not lie to anybody, and even the people around me. One of my some of my great friends, because I was open about it, but only in my inner circle. I know some people that don't tell anybody. You know what I'm saying? Really, maybe the people that are in their household. So I was vocal because but there were no chat GPT, so I had questions like, now would you cut both of your breasts off, or would you do lumpectomy? So I was doing that. But I definitely wasn't saying that I was avoiding my care team. No,
because the reason why I asked that is because there might be someone watching this when they watch it that has just got a diagnosis, and they need to know that it's real, that it's okay to pick up that phone to answer. But one thing that you all have said that I think is just paramount that needs to be brought out: none of you went to your appointments and all this stuff by yourself. None of you had those conversations by yourself. And so this is that time that if you've gotten a diagnosis, and this is just a suggestion from me, make sure you have someone that's there with you that can also hear the things that you won't necessarily hear in the moment, because you also have to be be strong. You also have to be this tough person. I think it is mind y'all, preparing for this live tonight, I got me a little table next to me. I got me some Sprite and some water. I got me some sweet tea. But I didn't have no tissue. And I'm just really, y'all are messing me up over here. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best not to fall out and cry, because the amount of strength that's on this live right now through the three of you guys is crazy. Not one of you, while you were talking, because I was listening, not one of you said, I immediately thought, oh, this is the end, or is this, am I leaving here? None of y'all thought that. You thought about your kids, you thought about life, you thought about everything you had going, everything that you had left to do, and that strength carried you through to where you are now, that has just blessed me. I don't know if y'all realize when y'all were talking, none of y'all said, oh, this just the end. This don't take me out. I'm gonna prepare. Neither one of y'all said I'm gonna prepare my will or make alterations to my will, to my trust, and all that. And I think that that's just impeccable. It's like you knew. Let's talk about that. You knew this strength. Your strength came from.
Come on now. Right here above.
Yeah.
Right here. That's
Yeah.
it. God's grace
Yeah.
and mercy.
It's like he
really
was
brought
there.
me through. Yes,
You guys
literally.
immediately, you were like, this is where my strength is. This
Yeah.
is where my family is gonna support me through this.
Yeah.
But my strength.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm about ready to run around this
Yeah.
house.
Come
No,
on now. 'Cause
literally.
can't nobody lay on that table. Nobody's laying on that table but you. So it's you
Right.
and God. It's you and your
Yes.
faith. It's you
That's
Yes.
it.
alone. I remember the night
Yeah.
before I had the test, and my grandmother, she had I don't know if it was a double mastectomy or mastectomy, but she was the only one. But when I got tested, I was good. So that's why I decided, because at first I was like, forget these, I don't want to say the word, but like, because it's about living, honestly.
Yeah.
But once I did everything, all the testing, it's like, okay, well, we could just, take it out and do a lift. I did the lumpectomy. And so I was like, okay, well, that's good. But the night before, when I tell y'all, woo, the talk God and I had, and that quiet place, and just resting in His arms, and just saying nothing else you can do. Like it's you,
Literally
God, and I
nothing.
know you're gonna
Yeah.
bring me through with just that stillness, and you gotta allow yourself. So anyone that may be on this live that have possibly been diagnosed, just know that you can get through this. You are not alone. Cry if you have to cry. Just
Definitely.
breathe, speak to someone. Like I did, I kept it private, but a few people outside knew. And I talked to my friends who experienced it and got double mastectomies, got lump, but and I did my research, I let some in, but like I said, I want to keep it private, but just know, you just speak to someone. You're not broken. It's just
Well, let
a
me say
process,
to you,
something you're going through.
too, which I think is powerful for your situation.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos, and I hate using the word kudos, but for the lack of better words, kudos to your support system. Because while you were battling cancer, you also had to think, okay, I got to make sure no one is selling this to TMZ. I got to make sure, you know what I'm saying? I mean, let's keep it real, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I have to make sure that this is staying close knit into
Exactly.
my, in my environment. And shout out to your friends and support.
I'm so grateful for
Literally,
them.
the world heard about you being healed, you being a cancer survivor.
Ooh, yes.
We didn't know you were going through the process at all.
Right. I'm so grateful for my tribe. My woo, yeah, it's just, I get chills just thinking about it. I really do, because like you said, like it was crazy. It was scary. I wanted to control my narrative. I wanted to tell my story, and that was very important. So I'm so grateful for every single one of my tribe. Like it
Absolutely.
says a lot. The people
Yeah.
around me, it says a lot. So I'm grateful.
No, for
Can I
sure.
also add something really quick? I want to say
Yes.
something that I feel like I wish somebody would have told me. Now being a year removed, right? All of this happened to me last year. I got diagnosed in the end of 2023, and then I started
And tell your
chemo.
age, Cherael, if you don't mind.
34.
Mm-hmm.
And
See,
so
that's
Wow.
and
It should be
so
moved up. Like, sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
should
Yeah.
be.
Like,
Mhm.
yes,
So
absolutely.
I going through what I went through, I can look back a year later and say this, and this is going to be something, I don't know if you guys agree with this. I hope you do. But I wish somebody would have told me, take this time to let it introduce you to the identity of who you actually are and who you desire to be. Use it as an opportunity to really, really meet who you are.
You are.
Because now at this point, I don't care
Come
what
on now.
anybody has to say. I
Come
know
on.
exactly who I am.
Yes.
I know what's in me. I know what type of woman, mother, and I also am able to see myself 10 years from now and work toward that woman, because I know I've been through some of the worst things. I've been through some terrible things that I was able now to see, oh my God, like to be able to get up every morning knowing I had to go to chemo on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Wednesdays, and have to do my blood work on Tuesdays. And that was my life. So I had to structure my vacations around that. I had to structure my me time around that. But it became my life. But now I've been reintroduced to the woman that not only I didn't know I had the strength that I had, I didn't know I had the power and also the boldness. Because what happened to me was, before, I may have been a little bit more shy, which I still kind of am. I would like to say that I'm shy.
I would
D'George
say
ain't gonna
you.
agree.
No, you are.
Shy,
Your
but
personality. Yeah.
my personality is naturally shy. But because of what I've gone through, I'm able to stand with such a boldness to
Yes.
talk to anybody. It doesn't even matter. I don't care if I'm at a doctor's office, at my job. I find myself talking to my CEO about God, about the healing power of God.
Yes.
I work in the healthcare field, and I'll walk up to, it doesn't even matter. I'll tell my testimony to whomever, because I know who I am. And
Come
I
on.
know what God has done for me in my life. And so I would say to any woman that is, just now going through something like this, take this as an opportunity to really get to know and love on you, because you deserve that. You need
Yes.
that. But this does build a different level of womanhood, of sisterhood. I have so many pink sisters that I've met, different backgrounds, different races, and it's like we have something in common. I know what it feels like to go through life and you're at a holiday and people don't realize the emptiness that you may feel because you're the only one dealing with this heavy burden. But being able to see somebody that says, I see you. I see what you're going through. I see what you're experiencing. And guess what? There's another side to this. And the doors that I've been able to walk into because of what I went through that was ugly last year, it's like, God, I understand it sucks, right? I hate this had to be my journey, but I'm grateful.
Yes.
So
Yes.
grateful for it.
I feel the same way. I absolutely feel the same way. Now, I mean, completely bold, completely advocating, and I I say sometimes like it was a blessing, and people will look at me initially, and they get context after. But when I say it was a blessing, because I was going 80 miles an hour, I was so driven by my career, I was so focused on everything but me. I would take care of me to a certain extent, but I'd have to wait because I had things to do.
That's
But
if you know April, you know that you already know that that's the truth.
that is the truth. But when I tell you my perspective changed and my level of gratitude to the point that feeling it, it wasn't just saying things anymore. I actually was starting to embody like I am grateful. I am blessed. I am, I am a worshiper. And I've started to be the essence of those things that I was saying. And then it was like, okay, with this foundation, I want everybody to have that. And
Yes.
even before I finished chemo, like, they would be like, oh my God, everybody wants me to come. They think, yeah, I mean, I can be a hoot. You know what I'm saying? So I became that in the, in that fusion center. And they'd be like, oh, we were waiting for you to get here. So I wanted to be, I was not going to be that illness. I
Yeah.
was going to beat that illness, and that illness was going to serve the purpose that it came and was allowed to come into my life to do. You did your job. Now go away. You're done. Your work here is done. Now what that left off is the next level of who we are. Because sometimes you could be so caught up being CEO, entrepreneur,
Yeah.
mom, wife, all the things, and lose sight of purpose. Before
It's
that, before
true.
you were a mommy, before you were a wife, before you started that business, you had purpose. And sometimes
Yes.
that God will propel that thing into your life to push you into what was already there in the first place. And you just had to get
Come
there.
on
So
now.
it elapses
Come on.
time. And you
Yes.
wait and you get past that and the hair grows back and you know what I'm saying? You start getting your energy back and you're like, oh, now I got work to do. So yes, you're
Yes.
gonna go, you're gonna go boldly. Yes, you're gonna speak with authority because I went through something, but not
Yes.
for me. Not
Yes.
just for
Not for me.
right,
Yes.
not for me. So
For
I
me.
had that helps you take yourself out of the pity party too.
It
So I
does.
like to tell new what are they like no neos, newly diagnosed, Like, don't give into that. Don't think of, whatever you need to do. Make sure you seek to nurture you. It's okay for you to cry about it. It's okay for you to have your why me moment. It's okay for you to go through that process. But what you cannot do is stay in it. You
Yes.
cannot stay in it.
Yeah.
So,
Move through it. I like to say
Good.
move through it.
yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Yes. What I
So
got a lot of
good.
times is while I was going through it, obviously once it came out, they're like, I had no idea. And it goes to what we were saying. Like, I didn't want to give into the sickness, the illness. Like, no, what does cancer look like? Like, I had it. It looks like me. I'm still strong. I'm still thriving before
It looks like me.
thrive. Exactly. It looks like me.
Yeah.
And it was just a blessing to be that example for others who are going through it. And even, the administration at my kids' school, and they were just so supportive, like in a sense proud, and just, it was great to be that light for people, and once they saw what I was going through and just put a face with it and like, oh my gosh. And so you're not alone. So you're not alone.
I
And I
love
want to,
that.
I really quickly, I want to thank each of you too for your willingness to be open, because like there's so much, I mean, especially generationally as a culture, we're taught to hide things. We might not know how grandma got out of here. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. And that's passed down that like, you just don't tell people your business.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just like my friend Shanti does with mental
Oh, yeah.
health. It's like silence the shame, it's like you this is your testimony. There's a 30-year-old somebody, this person, you have a platform. I'm looking at you and you're telling me what? You're
Yeah.
vulnerable? And this actually happened? It would be amazing. We can get more of this over the pulpit, but the
Right.
platform that you
Come on.
have, I don't care if you go live. I don't care if you speak it, on this podcast. You show up for a luncheon. You speak at your children's school. We have to open our mouths, because there's a 30-year-old woman that might not take it serious. There's a 28-year-old
Yes.
woman that might not, this. Like when I walked in there and I thought I was gonna be out of there, and because I was like, this is my grandmother's disease. You know what I'm saying? All these old people
Right.
that's looking at me.
Right.
I was about
Yeah.
to go to the mall. Little did I
Right.
know.
Bye, y'all. Yeah.
No, they left and I was still in there.
Wow.
So I have to tell, younger women, like, no, be mindful, do
Yes.
self get and also working with advocacies and groups. I work with Ricky Fairley's group. She was a big C-suite executive at Coca-Cola, and she lives in Atlanta, but I honored her, and she's been like a mentor for me and my foundation. But when I say she works tirelessly, and they gave her a few months to live, and you see she's here like years later because she has purpose. But we work to make sure that there are women that look like us in clinical trials. So if you do go
Yes.
the route of
Very important.
chemotherapy, or you do
Yes.
go the route of
Yes.
radiation, or the route of whatever, at least there is some data that says, hey, this melanated me may not
Yes.
need what
Oh,
Becky
that's
needs, and
good.
that's fine. We need to
Exactly.
have a presence in clinical trials. We need to have a presence when we're lobbying for things. We need
Mm,
to know, don't say you have breast cancer. What kind do you have? HER2 negative,
Yes.
mm,
Right.
hormonal,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
so I just the
Yes. It's
education
true.
aspect of it, because we
It's
gotta
true.
know, because you gotta tell it your daughter. It doesn't matter if you don't have the gene. You still have a daughter, and you have a niece, or you
Exactly.
have a mentee, and
Come
it's like,
on.
okay, getting your your exams, or you're checking on this or hormonal, because they're not gonna tell me that me having that orthonovum regulation period, when making my mom give that to me when I was 15 or 16, and then fast forward 20 something years later and I have an estrogen receptor positive cancer.
Exactly.
You're not
Same.
gonna
Same.
tell me
Same.
that.
Same.
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 Yeah. That's what
No.
I
Same.
have
Yeah,
too. Exactly.
surging
Yes.
that synthetic
Same.
estrogen in my body in my formative
Yes.
Exactly.
years. Come on.
Yes.
So I can lay
100%.
up in my cells and
Same.
in my
Yes.
tissues.
Of course.
No.
And that's why we're seeing it more now, and
Yeah.
with us.
Yes.
100%. I totally
mm.
Yes,
believe that. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And why wasn't get to the root of it? Why wasn't our periods regulated?
Right.
Why aren't we hormonally balanced? Why are black women
Mm.
so much, we're overwrought with estrogen? What is that? Because
That's a good
I want the
question.
kids, I tell the kids in my family, all mine, like, okay, listen. This, I want to have the information, not just tell you not to do anything. I want to give you some
Yeah.
context, some texture.
Of
And
course.
yeah, I just yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. That's good.
Wow.
That's it.
That's really good. That is really good. I do have this question, and we're wrapping shortly. But I do have this question as a husband, as a father. I know men may not fully grasp this journey, but what's something you wish more men understood about this journey?
that they can get it too. One. A lot of people don't know Beyonce's father is an advocate for
Yeah.
BRCA2.
Yeah.
He had not only the genetic.
We tried to invite him to the show. April was
Okay.
supposed to invite him to the show, but I don't know why.
Uh,
I
He
think
was
he was
busy
busy.
tonight.
We can do it. Yeah, I can
but
talk to him.
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
can.
he
He
also
can see if he
advocates
talk.
for it. And he talks about it. And so
Big
a
time.
lot of time men and they don't know for women, right? And so in my position, BRCA2 makes me around 60% more susceptible to breast and ovarian cancer. So they talk to you about taking your ovaries after 40, right? So then that's that. But for men, there's an increase in prostate and breast cancer when you have that
Absolutely.
genetic predisposition, which my father does have. So a lot
Mm.
of times for us, it comes down to just education, advocacy, like she said. Literally, men can get it too. That is the part. Now,
Absolutely.
I don't know how a man gets a mammogram, but I'm pretty sure it hurts like it hurts for us. So either way, we can share in that.
They
Okay,
do.
we can share. It hurts, but
Yes.
just understanding now from the aspect of just being a support to someone going through it. I feel like be a support like you would if your family member had a serious a level of diabetes and heart disease. You be there, you let them know that I'm here, but I will
Yeah.
support you even when your life changes, when your body changes,
Mm.
when your
That's
face changes,
good.
when your hair changes. It does
Yeah.
like literally pump back into
Yeah.
them and pour back into them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are still this, you are still that. When they
Yes.
Yeah.
know that
I love
life
that.
is not
Pour back.
changing, how I
Hmm.
feel about you is not changing, what I see in you is not changing. When
Yes.
people have that constant pour back into them, it gives them the strength
Mhm.
when their bodies change, when their
Yes.
hormones change, when they're, all of these things that may weigh on them. And someday they may not feel like being bubbly and being what
Yes.
you need.
Come on now.
So just being
Right.
there to
That,
say,
that part.
I can't show up the same way I always show up during this
Mm.
Yes.
because some days
Yes.
I don't feel like being,
Wow.
the laughy, bubbly person. So do
Mm-hmm.
you still love me? Is there still value there?
Mm.
And just being able to fill in the gaps until they're back to themselves.
I
Mm.
love that. That's so true. Just listen. I would say add for them to just listen without trying to fix it, because a lot of times the men,
Men want to fix it.
Yeah, we
yeah,
want to fix it. We want to fix
yes,
Ah,
this.
y'all can't fix
Absolutely.
this now. Okay, let us,
Yeah.
and just
No, that's
Yeah.
offer
good.
comfort and not judge. We're
Yeah.
going through something that's extremely different and rare, and we're not, used to it or accustomed to it. So we're gonna have our
Mhm.
emotions. We're gonna go back and forth, like you said. Like, give us our time if we need space, and we can't show
Mm.
up like we
Mhm.
normally show up every day. So just give us that,
Yeah.
and
And
hold up.
educate. Reiterate that what you said. Educate yourself. I don't care. You do go to Chat GPT for everything else, and
Come
get a
girl.
on.
book. Read a book. Figure out
Yes.
what's going on in your woman's
Yes.
life. Be
Exactly.
mindful. Be proactive. There's so many books now being written about it, from breast cancer diagnosis to perimenopause. You need to know about that too. But just don't just sit and just. Also, it will give you some relief too that she's really not crazy today.
Exactly.
She's
Come
Right.
on.
literally
Right.
hormonally
Mm.
imbalanced right now.
Yes, she can't
She
help
stopped.
it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we over here getting on our own nerves. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mm.
I'm like, girl, can you calm down? you know. So if you just kind of take a moment to educate. I
Yes.
have a business partner of mine, a male, and
Mhm.
he wanted to understand what's happening. So I said, okay, go study ADHD because I'm sorry, I can't sit down. So he really did the work, and now he will follow me around me
Right.
see if
Right.
I got ants in my pants, but just knowing something
Yeah.
or and that's gotta make your woman feel so
Yes.
seen. If
Seen.
I'm already
Yes.
sick, you see me,
Oh,
okay.
yes.
That right there is
Right.
stress in and of itself, and I have lost women in our pink society. We have lost women. And a lot of it has been to them not having that level of support, not feeling seen, and allowing
Mhm.
themselves to just succumb to the illness. You have to really make a decision that you want to be healed. You have to
Fit.
agree with God
Come on
about
now.
this.
Come
Because
on.
if
Yes.
you come to terms with the
Come
fact,
on.
well, I'm just tired, I'm out of here, and there's no one, like you just said, pouring into you,
Yes.
at some point you're going to get empty. And this
Yes.
thing will take you out of here.
It
Yeah.
will.
But it doesn't have to. It doesn't have
Yes.
to. So I
Wow.
applaud
Absolutely.
all the men that have been in a position of support and being proactive and,
Yes.
educating
Kudos.
themselves. Yep.
Yes. For sure.
Wow. Is there As we wrap, as we come to a close, I want everyone. I wish your names are on the screen, but throw out your Instagram or where people can follow you at to just somebody's watching this and they're going through this process right now, and they need somebody to look up to, and they need somebody to watch and see you living your life as you have survived, and seeing that they can do the same thing. So, Cherael, share where people can follow you and find you at.
You can follow me on Instagram at Cherael, Cherael _official. Cherael _official. And on Facebook, you can follow me at Cherael, Cherael J Wynn, Wynn Ross, RSS.
All of them names. April.
Yes, but we gotta find her. Okay.
Listen.
All my things are Ask April Love, ASK. I'm like, I did say ask, right? Ask April Love, and that's Instagram. That's all the things. But as it relates to the Pink Awards, it's the pinkawards.com. And you can actually go there and access the Pink Awards Foundation. And in that, you can specify if you want to, if you're going through the fight, if you're newly diagnosed, if you want to be a part of our Pink Society, we continue to advocate. We put you in front of the line for clinical trials. We make sure that if there's a need in Pink in December, we raise money for women, especially single women who are going through the fight and have children, and we take care of Christmas for them. And we're always looking for volunteers, and please be a part of the Pink Society. We're going to be a hub of information. We have a navigation program launching next year. So that's the pinkawards.com and askaprilove.com.
I love that, April.
Love it.
That's so amazing. Okay, you can follow me, Monyetta Shaw. That's MonyetteShaw on Instagram, Monyetta Shaw Carter on Facebook. And interesting, I actually documented my entire journey while I was keeping it to myself. But I was like, because it's important for everybody to see in real time, if you may, like what was going through. And it could help. I wanted to help those that are going through it and just in a major way. So you can go to my YouTube channel, which is just Monyetta, JUSTMONYETTA, and follow the journey. So
that's awesome.
I'm super excited about
I'm sorry, one more thing I forgot to say.
Yes.
The Pink Awards, March 14th, happening in Atlanta at the Ray Charles Performing Arts Center at Morehouse College. I'm sorry. It is still a college. Yeah, I was about to make it a university, but yeah, at Morehouse. So we're very excited about that. And tickets are on sale. Please be a part. Please be in the room. And March 14th.
Perfect. And you all know Cherael does have this book. I think we have QR code. We can, if we can show there it is. I want you guys to take a second and grab that QR code. You're not pre-ordering it, you're actually ordering.
No, you can order. You can also order on Amazon. Order on Amazon.
And it's out right now?
It is.
It came to me like in 2 days.
Awesome.
Okay,
I'm
I would
definitely
love to
ordering
hear
it.
that.
Want to say? Oh, go ahead.
No, Cherael, go ahead. Let me say this though. I can honestly say this book is extremely resourceful, because when I tell you, my friend, my sister, did not look like she had any sickness or illness among her the entire time. This girl was still getting on the plane, singing and ministering to people. Like she was still doing everything, raising her children. I'm telling you, she did not look like, and I want to tell you publicly, you do not look like what you've been through, and you didn't look like what you were going through.
Come on now.
Nobody knew. So,
Wow.
and you guys do not look like what you've been through. You may have went through some fire, but you didn't come out looking or smelling like smoke.
Come on now.
Cherael, go ahead.
I was gonna say very quickly, there was a science that I found out about that is mainly, it was started in London. It's called cold capping. A lot of Caucasian women use it, and it only saves around 60% or less of their hair. It worked 100% for me. Did not lose any of my hair. And I was on the strongest I took the Red Devil chemo, which is
Andromycin.
Listen, yes. Okay. It was the most intense. And my hair, that one is known to not only take your hair, but also some people do not grow hair back after that. And so I remember sitting in the office and I told them I wanted to do it. And my nurse navigator was a white man, told my brother, this is a waste of money. Do not don't have her. And my brother yelled at him and he said, listen, however she has to fight, you can't, if she's gonna lose it either way,
Yes.
let her do what she needs to do. And it worked 100% for me. I had 16 rounds of chemo. And so of the double dose chemo, intense chemo. And so my hair did not go. And to find out it works better on Black women's hair.
Wow.
And people did not know this.
They didn't know.
When
So
she
I have
told me, I
tools,
was like, whoa.
Wow.
things in there, and
That's
I have all those
amazing.
resources in there. So if somebody wants to use the same
Real
company
quick though,
that I
Cherael,
use,
tell them how they had to switch, they had to come to your chemo and switch it out.
so
After.
the science is there is a thing called a cold cap, which basically they put in dry ice and it has to stay below a certain temperature. And so I had a lady that worked for the company. She would come in every 20 minutes and she would change the cap out during chemo. And what the science does is it freezes your hair follicles so the chemo doesn't get to it. So
Wow.
during
What?
that time, when I
Wow.
have pictures, you guys, if you would like to see it, literally during that time, so it was 6 months of chemo that I went through. During that time, I had to make sure I didn't put heat on my hair. I washed my hair with cold water. I also tagged a lady that I met in Mississippi. When I say divine connections, a lady I met in Mississippi who has her own natural hair care products. I met her the same week I went through chemo and started cold capping. Bought her
Wow. Look at
products,
God. Look at
no
God.
parabens, no nothing. All
Wow.
natural ingredients, used her products. My hair is down my back, guys. Okay. So
Wow.
I really started a foundation. It's in the early startups of it, but I started a foundation because I want to pay for women who want to fight in that way. And
Yes.
so my publisher asked me, they said, why did you we need to know who your audience is? And I'm gonna shut up, you guys. But she asked,
Don't get off.
who is your audience? She said, who is your audience? Because I need to know who you're writing this for. You want everybody to buy it, we know, but who is your audience? I said, I'm writing this book for women who were like me, who could not give into the diagnosis because they had to keep going. So you had to still show up. You had to still look like you had everything going on. You had to still move forward. So this book is for those who know I cannot stop. Some people have the support to say, I don't have to go back to work. I don't have to, I can really just lay down and rest. That was not my story. I was a mom. I was getting my MBA. And now I'm getting my doctorate, right? And I'm doing my dissertation on the patient experience in diverse settings. Okay.
Wow.
How we
Oh, that's
experience,
awesome.
how we heal
That's
based
so
on
good.
who is our doctor, how they
Come on.
recognize us culturally. And so I'm devoting the next 4 years to getting this doctorate, to understanding how diversity affects patient experience and how well they heal.
And it
Come on.
does.
Yes,
Such
it
a,
does.
it's
Oh my
so
God.
Asian, I had an Asian surgical oncologist, who was Indian, and I had a Black practitioner. I'm telling you, my experience was different with all three. So
Wow. Wow.
go get the book, y'all. Go to Amazon, get the book,
Yes.
get the book.
Yes.
yes,
Look,
ma'am, for
Absolutely.
I
sure.
love it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Listen, before we wrap up tonight, I just want to take a moment to let everything we've heard sit in the room.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys have shared isn't just powerful, it's life-changing. And I'm going to try to get through this without crying, but tonight reminded me of something powerful. When people share their stories, they give others permission to find their strength. You all didn't just talk about surviving. You've showed us what it means to live with courage, to stand in faith, and to keep showing up even when life hits hard. To every surviving warrior watching, to every fighter in the middle of the battle, and to every family member standing beside someone they love, you matter.
Yes.
Your story matters, and your strength is real. This conversation doesn't end when the live goes off. Awareness is only powerful when it leads to action.
Yes.
Schedule your screenings, check in on your loved ones, be present, be supportive. Come on, men. To my guests tonight, Thank you for your honesty, your grace, your comedy, and your light. You poured into us, and we are better because of it. And to everyone watching, share this conversation. Please share this conversation. Let it spark hope. Let it save lives. And until next time, I'm D'George Hines. Be encouraged, stay aware, and as always, be uplifted.
Thank you, D'George.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you. This is
Pleasure.
so awesome. So awesome.